Friendsgiving dinner, Sunday brunch. And some people say you are what you eat, which would mean that, no, Sunday brunch.
Sorry about that. I think that was me. Sorry about that. Sorry for the weird start, guys. What's going on? This is Jay Ellis for the Knick of Time show. Here to give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to talk about this atrocious Knicks loss to the Magic, man. The Knicks lose to the Magic 103-94. In the game I expected to win. I don't care if we didn't have Karl-Anthony Towns. I don't care if Deuce McBride wasn't playing. These guys don't have Paolo. They don't have the Wagner brothers. And they don't have Jalen Suggs. And we still end up losing to them. Disgraceful. And despicable. Worst loss of the season for me. We're going to talk about it all. The bad, and the ugly. Before we do that, I'm going to introduce you to my guy, Lee Escobedo, the Latin assassin, ESPN contributor, Bleacher Report contributor. What's going on, Lee?
What's up, my brother Jay? Yeah, definitely agree with you. Worst loss of a season. 16 assists for our Knicks, 18% from three, 4 from 22, third loss in a row. I believe also the fourth game in a row where we had under 10 made threes. Really horrible execution from the perimeter. Really horrible execution defending the perimeter, defending the paint. Horrible effort all around. Really disgusting loss. I put this on Tibbs and Brunson.
Oh, man. This one was one of those things where the three-point shooting. Mikal Bridges has been deadly from the corner three. Hasn't hit. I don't think he hit any threes. He hit 1 for 7. 1 for 7 for 3. OG Anunoby. I'm going to put out an APB on OG Anunoby. His offensive game has been missing for about a month. 0 for 3 from the three-point line, 4 of 11 from the field. The ball movement was there in the beginning. We actually was getting open shots. They just weren't falling. And then on top of that, I kind of feel like the Knicks came into this game thinking that they were going to be handed the win because they beat them 3 times already. And the Magic were missing so many players, but this is an NBA team. They're all professionals. The Magic, got to give them credit. No matter who's playing, who's available, they play 110% every single time. They block shots, they steal. They made it tough for us to get our offense running. They trapped us. They fought over screens. They challenged three-point shots. They did everything they could, and they affected us. And then the last coup de grace was they started hitting threes. Like freaking Wendell Carter Jr. was looking like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar out there. It was kind of nuts. I don't even know this is some big breakdown that you want to talk about today, but this to me, this is like a throw in the trash game. We need more effort. And if we're supposed to be seriously contending, this is the type of game that we shouldn't let get away.
I think, yeah, this is our worst. This is the worst stretch of a season for the Knicks. Every team, I think, that is a contender, or majority of teams, go through a stretch like this where they lose to teams they should beat. The effort's not there. There's a kind of a lackadaisical approach to defense. Perhaps you start hot from the perimeter, or you start well in pick and roll, which they did. There's a lot of like varying pick and roll too. Pick and roll combos I hadn't seen in a while that involved Sims, that involved Shamet, that involved OG in the first half, and then all of that fell apart in the second. In my opinion, because of a lack of focus, but also guys are exhausted. I think this is a game where Tibbs should have really cut into the minutes. I'm not advocating for the rookies to play. I'm more advocating for just more bench production and more bench players, and Brunson and OG and Bridges and Hart getting more rest, where their minutes distribution should have been around the early 20s. To me, if that would have happened and we lose a game, I actually kind of would have been okay with it. I wouldn't have wrapped it up to a really bad loss. It would have been understandable because the starters aren't out there as much as they usually are, but they get the rest, and the rest to me is what should have happened. And I would have been okay if Shamet played 30, 32 minutes, or Precious played 20, and we lose the game, because it meant that our starters were able to actually chill for a night. And I think if there's a different rotation out there, guys that weren't exhausted, you would have seen better defense, at least on the perimeter. And you probably would have seen a little bit more of a rhythm from some of the bench rotation that did not have it at all tonight. I agree with Sandman in the chat. Precious Achua was absolutely ass.
Yeah.
Landry Shamet was ass. Even Campaign didn't have that usual moxie that he brings. I thought Sims had very good minutes in the first half, but they really went away from all of that in the second. It's unfortunate, man. This was a really ugly loss to a team that is missing all of their firepower, right? All of it. And we also allowed guys to have some of their best nights of the season. I'm really thinking about Jonathan Isaac, who is celebrating January 6th today. He was able to go out there and get you 13 points and 9 rebounds. That's a joke for y'all, by the way.
Oh my God.
It's a holiday for him. So, I wanted to shout out that.
Oh my God.
Jonathan Isaac. But you also saw Cole Anthony, someone who was completely removed from the Magic's rotation until the injury of Jalen Suggs. He drops 24, 7, and 4 on us, which is unbelievably embarrassing. With him being back at home in the Garden, this is a really ugly loss. Hopefully it's a soul-searching one, and there's some conversations happening between the players and the coach that really course correct and perhaps open up the rotation to additional bench minutes.
Cole Anthony, man, I feel like he always kind of gets up for us because he's just a New York guy, and it's funny when I was thinking about this game, I was like, Cole Anthony's gonna play. I feel like he's gonna have a big game. Like I was thinking that in my head, and I wish I was wrong, but that's exactly what the hell happened. for sure. But then it was like Wendell Carter Jr. was like, I don't like the defense. Precious has been playing pretty good defense. I feel like Precious has been our guy for like pick and pop, pick and roll defense. He didn't know what to do today. He didn't know what, and then on top of that, like sometimes he just looks really small.
Mm-hmm.
And today I feel like it's one of those days where he looks really small, trying to grab rebounds against the trees. Also, Josh Hart too. Like Josh Hart is like guarding Isaac a lot of the times, and Isaac is like a freak of nature, like 6'10" with these long arms. So like I feel like he was getting overpowered, even though Josh Hart still found a way to get like 12 rebounds because Josh Hart is this weird freak of nature. But like I feel like he had problems with size from like that power forward center spot whenever Sims wasn't in the game in general, and we had to kind of rely on just trying to outwork people, and it didn't work in our favor. And not only that, like just the 3-point shot, just I don't know, man. We shot 4. What was the number? 4 of 22, 18% from 3. Bruh. Is wow. I think it's the worst in the NBA with that. I think they announced it was the worst in the NBA this season. Actually, I think the worst in the NBA was actually 3 of 22, but then Campaign hit a 3-pointer at the last second, so we wouldn't have that record. But this is like, you know what's disappointing about this, Lee? I think what's really disappointing about this one is we lost to the Bulls earlier in the season, and I felt like that loss to the Bulls kind of kicked us in the butt, and we started to get on track after the loss to the Bulls, only to like lose to the OKC and then lose to the Bulls again. I'm not used to this team. I'm used to this team responding after bad losses. Mm-hmm. So to have 2 bad losses in a row to like 2 kind of bottom feeder-ish teams is mentally a problem to me. It's kind of a red flag for me.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about how we bounced back from the Atlanta game after Trae Young rolled the dice on the New York Knicks Madison Square Garden logo. We really went on a tear. I think we only lost 5 games after that until the Chicago Bulls loss. But I agree with you. The Orlando Magic, even without their superstar core, or their star core, they only have one superstar really in Polo. The offense is pretty anemic, but they're still really tall and they're still really long. And they play unbelievable defense with a pretty decently thorough rotation as well. And I think I predicted Cole Anthony 30-piece was coming last pod. He ended up having 24. It's really disgusting. I think the fact that everyone's tired is why a lot of those threes are being missed, specifically with OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. I just don't think they have their legs. There's a lot of blown layups at the rim for Jalen Brunson. Some of those were a combination of just the ball didn't go in. It would go in and then out. It's like some physics and angles, but other shots were because he didn't have the same lift. I think getting into the paint and trying to hit and trying to score at the rim. I mean, this is a bad one for morale. In all honesty, we really, really need to win the next game. Otherwise, things get really ugly. Not necessarily in the locker room or for our championship contention, but I think with the fan base and the way that we view his team. I really hate the echo chamber that exists both online and sometimes even in real life, depending on what your community is, Knicks fan wise. It's really pessimistic because, as we discussed last podcast, we don't really know how to handle adversity yet with a team that's a contender or a team that's really good at winning, as this Knicks team has. And this is adjustment, I think, for the fan base as well, because we're seeing performances that are completely the opposite of what we were when they were on that solid run, that 9-game run. But you have to remember, we've beaten a lot of really bad teams during that stretch too. And that OKC team, I think, really knocked us down a peg. I think it hurt our humility. It hurt our humility, and we realized that maybe collectively this team has a little bit further to go. And one of the things they have to do to overcome that is how they address adversity, which is how the response that came out tonight. I agree with you. It's very worrying. This is a game that they absolutely, really, if they had the right moxie or the right balls, they should have blown the hell out, but they didn't. They allow guys who are out of the rotation or not major scorers to contribute and really beat us in the perimeter. And they're one of the worst three-point shooting teams, if not the worst three-point shooting team in the NBA. And like you said, Wendell Carter Jr. was hitting above the very threes. Not sure how to bounce back. I'm not smart enough to figure out how to adjust. I think Tibbs was doing a few things early on, like that pick and roll action with OG, but also getting Brunson off ball and putting Brunson in cutting situations to try to get him going in the early third quarter. And then that died off too. The ball movement just became really stagnant and Brunson went back to ISO mode.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job of just taking us out of our offense with their defense, with getting their hands in passing lanes. They did a really good job fighting over screens and blowing up, kind of dribble hands off. They did a really good job defensively in general. And for me, like I look at, I know this is a close a contending team, air quotes, but I still look at this. I still look at tests. You know what I'm saying? We had that 9-game winning streak. We did what we supposed to do. That's a test that we passed. This is another test. Like, I feel like this month coming up for us is big to show us like the measuring stick of where we stand within the rest of the NBA and how seriously we can take ourselves. Like, I haven't really penciled us as championship contenders this season or anything. Like, I still feel like we have ways to go defensively, for sure. Hopefully we get it together by the end of the season, but we still have a lot more tests to go for sure. And it's like I saw glimpses of what we could be versus the OKC Thunder. But like I need more of those glimpses. I need that level of intensity against these other top teams, and I need us to get up for these bottom feeder teams as well.
I mean, I disagree in that sense. I'm surprised you never saw us as a championship contender. I thought that was even apparent last season before we had Cat and Bridges. But we had been getting up for these bottom feeder teams. That's where that 9-game winning streak came from. We beat a lot of the bottom of the barrel squads around the NBA that were in their own losing situations or losing streaks. So I think we've done a pretty good job of that. This was the one occurrence. But again, you really see how much Cat brings to the table offensively and defensively. Without him, our spacing was ass. We really over-relied on Jalen Brunson to try to be the offense initiator because we weren't able to run our offense to Cat. So I think that the threat of Cat does so much for gravity, offensive gravity, and it really allowed us to be double-teamed and single or triple-teamed in some instances once we got into the paint. They really did shutting us down, creating a wall, and that's because of Cat's absence.
No, for sure, Cat makes things a lot easier for us. Like, we lose a lot of size without Cat. We have to work harder for rebounds without Cat. He's the best rebounder in the NBA, so having that rebounding knock hurts us for sure. But like, OG Anunoby in particular, to me, I have like a question mark. Like, is he starting to get worn down? Because you know what? OG is usually injured probably every year. He's probably injured usually around this time of year. I don't know. He's still playing. I don't know if he's not used to playing these many games and these many stretches, but it just seems like his jump shot, he went from the mid-range and the three-point shot being automatic to just every time he's in the post, it almost looks like he's about to fall. Like, there was an above the bait three he took today that clanked so hard off. Like he shot it from his knees. Like you shoot the ball, you shoot it from your chest, and you follow through. He shot it from his knees. I could tell from how he picked it up that thing was gonna break hard. Like, I'm really kind of worried about OG Anunoby's offensive game because like games like this where it's like, all right, Cat's not gonna be here today. There's gonna be more shots for me. This should be more. I need to step up my game. Like I wanted him to actually kind of step up a little bit offensively.
Agree 100%. That's probably actually when I really think about the big picture, that's probably the most worrying thing is OG Anunoby, and not just his offense, but the consistency on defense too. He's starting to take a few plays off, I feel like, because he's spent in terms of his endurance. So yeah, agreed. Troublesome. I also liked some of the things that Tibbs did. Starting Sims, I thought was smart. This was a game where I liked Sims at center, and I thought that was the right adjustment. Was not to start Precious, but to keep the Precious in that backup role and have Sims at the 5. Maybe a little bit of hot porty, 10 minutes would have helped because Precious was really getting cooked by Jonathan Isaac when he was at the 5. But otherwise, I don't know what Tom Thibodeau could have done offensively to really get the guys going outside of what he was doing, which was really lean into easy buckets off of the pick and roll, shooting a decent volume of threes. They just weren't making it. And then trying to use Brunson as an off-ball cutter to try to get him going too with easy shots at the rim. I'm not really sure what else he could have done. I see the chat going off on Tibbs and saying we're not going to win a championship with Tibbs as coach. I've seen Twitter absolutely calling for his head and wanting him to be fired. This is the second pod in a row that we're having this discussion in the chat about whether we can win a chip with Tibbs or whether he should be fired. I had not seen enough evidence to me to say that Tom Thibodeau is not the best coach for this team. And there, again, I reiterate, there's not anyone out there that to me is a better coach than Tom Thibodeau, unless Tyrone Lue quits and wants to join the Knicks. But that ain't happening. So to be realistic, I think you just have to hope that he adjusts, as he always does every year. But he's been the head coach for us, especially around this time in January, is where he starts making adjustments that lead to good winning streaks and a solid overall record in the season.
What for you?
Mm-hmm.
Knicks have the lowest scoring bench in the league. I know we can't really overreact because we still don't have Deuce McBride here. Shamet, I feel like Shamet played the most minutes he's played since he's been in the lineup. 20 minutes today. He had 0 points today. I was expecting Shamet to give us a little bit more offense off the bench. I guess he's still knocking off some rust. But I guess my question to you is, have you reconsidered getting some offensive help off the bench somewhere?
No, I have not changed my stance on that. If we did not own both the lowest points per game by the bench and the lowest minutes per game by the bench, then I would say, yeah, maybe we need another weapon. But there's a correlation there for a reason, because the bench is simply playing less than any other bench in the NBA. How can you gain rhythm when you're dead last in minutes per game? And these guys, a lot of these guys are rhythm shooters. Shamet is a rhythm shooter. Campaign is a rhythm shooter. Precious Achiuwa, in order to be effective, in order for that three-point shot to stay at that 41%, he needs to get the minutes and the opportunities to shoot that as well. No plays are being ran for these guys. We talked about this for 3-4 podcasts in a row. Shamet's is not getting plays for him. He's making a lot of his attempts just off of the 4th or 5th pass within an offensive set, not a specific thing being ran for him that we're doing for Mikal Bridges. So to me, the bare minimum, just call up TJ Warren. Maybe rest one of the starters, rest OG one night, call TJ Warren up, give him 12 minutes and see what he can produce in a limited sample size, because his three-point shooting at the G League is at 35%, I think. But that would really help out this team right now with this spacing. That would, I think, exponentially go up if he's playing with Cat opposed to Hot Porty or I can't remember that other, Moses Brown. It's a different offensive look when playing with, a standard center than it is playing with Cat, who is such a force of gravity.
Do we have the money to bring him up? Do we have the money or the space, the roster space to bring him up?
Personally, Matt Ryan needs to be off this roster. There's no need for him. I think TJ Warren should be used on that two-way, and then he can play games with the Knicks when needed.
I concur.
Matt, I mean, no offense to Matt Ryan. I'm not going to call him a bum. But he's a specialist. He's a 3-point shooter. I understand why Leon went after him, but Tibbs is not going to play you if you can't play defense. So that's one of the reasons why Tyler Kolek hasn't seen consistent minutes as well. But TJ Warren can play defense. We've seen him his whole career be a moderate defender. He can switch the 2, 3, and 4. I mean, he can play with the 2, 3, and 4 depending on what you need from him. He's got wingspan. He's got height. He's pretty strong upper body, can take contact and finish through it. I don't know why we don't at least give him a spot opportunity, like I've seen him do in the past, and what he's doing right now with Shamit. It doesn't make sense for me.
Shout out to the chat. The chat is saying that we don't have enough. They saying that Jason, shout out to my guy Jason, one of the smartest dudes on here.
Yep.
Jason M said that we can't. TJ Warren is not eligible for a two-way. Is that because he's a veteran? So if he's not eligible for a two-way, that means we would have to outright sign him, which I think that might be it. That might be the issue. I think that might be the issue because I don't know how much money we have left. I think it might be like 500,000 away from the cap hit or something like that. So if that's the case, money is tight. Calling up anybody is going to be tight.
That made sense then.
Yeah.
I don't know how you shave that money off then to bring him up. If you eliminate the two-way contract Matt Ryan's on, that's probably still not enough for what he needs to make within the new CBA based on the number of years that he's been in the league.
Yeah, so this is pretty much our bench unless we trade for somebody. That's what it's looking like right now. That's what it's looking like right now. Curious to see how this trade season opens up. I don't even think Precious isn't eligible to be traded until I think February, I believe. So if Precious is traded, I feel like it's gonna happen in February. I know we talked about the Wizards trading with the Wizards to death over here because we had the Wizards pick and that's the only time. Yeah, but I'm not sure if Precious will even be traded, what his value is. But I know that that Wizards first round pick is very valuable to the Wizards. So I'll still have one eye out on that. I'm not saying it's going to happen or I want it to happen. I'm just saying the Knicks still gave him a no trade clause. So I don't know what's going to happen with that.
I think there are a couple of tea leaves that are important to read and to expect what Leon Rose might or might not do. Ian Bedley has reported that if Mitch is traded, it's most likely he will be traded for a center. So this idea of a bid wing coming from Mitch's $14 million contract, I think it's much more likely he goes after a center maybe between 9 and 10 to where he can be $2 million under that first apron while also maintain a center spot. So I look at guys like Valanciunas, who is on that team with the Wizards. I don't think adding a center as the best offensive player on the bench does anything for us personally. Tibbs doesn't run a lot of offense through the center outside of Cat. And if Cat's playing 34 minutes a game, you're looking at like 8 minutes for Jonas Valanciunas, which is probably going to be like 4 or 5 points. That's not going to be a needle mover, in my opinion, to add a boost to the second unit. Additionally, Leon, since his team became a guaranteed playoff team, at least once Brunson arrived, he's only went after guys who have playoff experience. Isaiah Hartenstein, I think, was the last guy that he targeted that didn't have playoff experience, but that was the same summer that Brunson arrived. Everyone since then, OG, Precious, Campaign, Shamit, all these guys, Cat, Mikal, they have playoff experience. So you got to think about that too when you're going after guys who are playing NBA 2K in your head. Right. Does a player you're thinking about have valuable playoff experience? Because we've gotten rid of the guys that were too scared to shoot in the playoffs. Now we have ballers. I think that's going to be a mindset you have to think about as well. And then, I mean, it's money. You had that really, the Mitch contract's the only one. But if you get rid of him, you're really getting rid of your only safety net in the playoffs to have someone who can defend one of these awesome centers one-on-one. So just some things to think about when you're doing your NBA 2K trade variables. Twitter.
Yeah. And I misspoke. I meant to say that they made Precious Achiuwa waive his no trade clause. So they made him waive his no trade clause. So he can be traded. That's what I meant to say. I misspoke. Sorry guys. Wouldn't it be wild if we traded to get Bojan and Alec Burks back?
That would be wild. I can't see us doing a trade with the Miami Heat, which is where Burks is currently, or a trade with the Nets, which I believe is where Bojan is trading.
Yeah.
But maybe they're in the buyout market. That is very possible that both of them could potentially be waived.
Things that make you go, Bring back Bojan and Burks. Let's go. End of the bench.
I would take Burks. Honestly, Burks is kind of exactly what we need right now, if I'm being honest.
A guy who can just kind of take over the offense and chuck a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone who can create off the dribble. That's what we're really missing right now.
Nah, you're right about that. Definitely right about that. All right, yo, salute to the chat, yo. Discord link is open if you want to talk. I'm back home now, so I got the sound effects, got the
Shout out the World Wide West.
got all that, and I got the Discord. So if we want to speak your piece, the Discord link is pinned to the top of the chat. Go ahead, man, speak your piece, say what you got to say, and let's get to it. Because I feel like we've talked about the game enough. There's no deep dive in this game. Oh, I see Jason M in it. Jason M. Oh, there we go. Jason M is back.
Man, I miss Jason M.
Yeah, man. Jason M's like, I'm jumping into Discord. Fritz, is Jason M ready? I guess so. I think I put him in. I think I added Okay. All right, let me just bring him in here. Since Jason is here, is ready. Let's see. Yo, Jason M, you hear me?
Yeah, you guys hear me?
Yeah, man. What's going on, bro?
Hold on, let me turn my TV off. Give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem. Jigger releases tapes over playing.
Yeah, I wasn't going to call in because I was pissed off about today, but then you guys stopped talking about different cap things, and I'm writing all these texts in the chat, and I'm like, let me just call in so I can just break it down for them.
That's what's up. We prefer that. Let's go. Break it down, man.
So Matt Ryan's on a two-way because he's on. I think it's his fourth year in the league. TJ Warren's not eligible for a two-way. The Knicks only have $500,000 to spend, which means they can't sign a player until March 2nd.
Okay.
They basically chose Shamit instead of TJ Warren.
Got it.
Yeah, they could give him a 10-day, and they could give him a 10-day today because I think 10 days were eligible to start. I think yesterday or today. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with a 10-day is that eats into that $500,000. So if they say you give him a 10-day, now it's not March 2nd. It might, I don't know. It might be March 14th. You have to wait till 15th. So I don't think they're going to do 10 days for that reason, unless they make a trade. Now, if they make a trade, they have to send out more than they bring in. So that is going to reduce the overall cap. So regardless of what they do, they have to send out more than because of the aprons. So therefore, that's the one way they can create a little more wiggle room. Right. And also, Precious Achiuwa is trade eligible January 15th.
January 15th. All right, got you. Appreciate you.
So,
Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's really. I mean, I could go off on this game, but I'm not going to even waste my energy. I just think they look tired. They look like a lot of people are talking about the minutes, and it looks like it's starting to pay. They look burned out, and we're not even halfway through the season. So
yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Maybe pick Tyler Kolek.
maybe. I mean, campaign is still only playing 12 minutes a game. But the biggest culprits are still Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. Really, Mikal Bridges is leading the league in minutes.
Yeah. And I mean, OG looks like OG has never looked this bad since he's been on the Knicks. Like the last few games.
Yeah.
Especially really just the last two. Maybe actually no, because even his defense don't look that good right now, which is crazy to say. So
his defense has been up and down for about like a week. His offense has been tanking since the 40-point game. Until he played.
Yeah, and he was arguably the best defensive wing. So,
Yeah. But I'm definitely concerned. Go ahead. My bad.
No, I should be fine. I was just going to say, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they could do. I agree with Lee. I don't think they're going to trade for, I think they're going to, what Ian Begley said, he's right. That was my big takeaway from what Ian Begley said, too, which is he said, if they don't believe Mitch is going to be the center, they're going to trade for another center. Like, he made it pretty clear, like, they're not going to trade Mitch for, like, a wing or something like that. Like, they're going to trade for a center. So, we'll see. I mean, here's one thing I think they could do, but it's not going to solve any of the issues they have right now. But I'm seeing trading Precious for Nick Richards.
Precious for Nick Richards.
Like I said, that's not really going to solve the issues, but financially it works because Nick Richards only makes $5 million and Precious makes $6 million.
So we have $1 million. So pretty much we have $1 million to give us a little bit of wiggle room. So then we'll have another center, a little bit of a bigger body. Then we can bring up TJ Warren and have more wing depth. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to bring up TJ Warren. I mean, I like TJ Warren. I watch a lot of what he's done in the G League, but I don't know how much they like, because they could have brought TJ Warren instead of Landry Shamet. They could have brought TJ Warren instead of Matt Ryan.
Right, but
so
the Knicks wanted movement shooting. Like I feel like Tibbs has his formula, and they felt like Shamet is the movement shooter that they wanted they wanted to kind of replace what Dante was doing, but he hasn't been doing that so far.
Yeah, I think they still want movement shooting. That's why I'm not sure if they're going to bring up, like, they might bring up TJ Warren. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. I think TJ Warren's going to get picked up by another team, to be honest.
Goes back to the Nets. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't like, oh, they got to make a trade right away until like the last 2 days. Now I'm like, damn, maybe they do got to make a trade right away. Or try playing the kids. I don't know.
But I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time I had.
I'm totally sold. The guys, they don't have days off, so like, yes, they look burned out, but like, where are they gonna get this win back? Like, they're playing almost every 2 days, if not back to backs. So like, where do they get their energy back?
Yeah, and another
All-Star break.
The other thing too is like McBride's injury being reoccurring, because it seems like he was fine, then he hurt his leg or knee or whatever, lost like got into rhythm, was back to the old McBride, and then I feel like right before he gets injured, you start to see his shooting dip, and it happened again. So it's like, okay, we need that scoring off the bench, and if he's going to be in and out of rotation for the remainder of the year, we're pretty much losing our most important bench player, pretty much, in McBride.
Yeah, the McBride injury is weird. He got hurt during practice. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, practice. He's talking about practice.
So
yeah.
But, yeah, he was warming up to play, and they were like, he's hurt.
Crazy, man. McBride goes hard in practice. What can I say? All right. Well, thanks, Jason.
Yeah, and then, look, this is the only.
Huh?
No, I was just gonna say, look, this is the only criticism I'm gonna have of the front office. Maybe, just maybe, they should have drafted someone last year, because then that player would be in their set.
Maybe. I mean, the way the books are with the cap space, like I feel like they were just probably planning out like, we want to go over the cap with a player from last year. Maybe I don't know. Who knows?
I know. I mean, it's I'm with you. I'm starting to think maybe this team this year is just not really a contender, because you can't it's how you can't base everything on they have to have everyone there all the time.
Yeah.
People get hurt, players get hurt, and you see how big of a drop off is if one of our players is out.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like we need some of our rookies could kind of develop, whether it be Pacome or somebody to kind of, we need some cheap talent to develop.
And I don't see that happening really until next year. I don't see those guys. Yes, he might play them here and there, but I don't see those guys really getting a chance until next year.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe Tyler Kolek might be the one to do.
And that's hopefully next year. He might make them wait another year.
He might, but we just looking at campaign's contract. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Pacome have ways to go because he has more people in front of him. But like campaign, he'll be out of here most likely. So it's more relief.
Or he'll be back on the same contract. I mean, I would like him to be gone, but I don't know if they're gonna have Kolek as a backup point guard. They might bring in another vet.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, thanks for calling in, Jason. That man's been a minute, man. Appreciate you.
Yep. Anytime. Thanks. Bye.
No problem. All right. And we gotta get the Sandman super chat, man. Shout out to Sandman who sends a $5 super chat. Let me see what he said. He probably said, did he say fire chips or something like that? He said, Knicks will never win the chip with very creative, Sandman. Very creative. This is a family show, Sandman. It's a family show. Knicks will never win the chip with Thibodeau as head coach. Right now is the time to experiment and give rooks 10 to 12 minutes a night, but Tibbs. Salute the Sandman. I see the comments under it. Gamer Channel says disagree. Zero offensive creativity by the Knicks. Too much Iverson ball by Brunson. No creating more opportunities for Bridges. OG Anunoby standing in the corner. No ball movement. You know what? You know what? There's times where I agree with the Brunson Iverson ball, and there's times like this where when OG and Josh Hart are shooting like crap, and Sims is literally scared to take a shot. Like, who else is supposed to take a shot besides Brunson and Bridges? You know what I mean? Like, there's days where I'm like, okay, yo, Brunson is going too crazy. Like the game versus OKC, I felt like he didn't need to shoot the ball so much. But a game like today when Josh Hart can't shoot, OG can't shoot, Sims is scared to shoot, it's pretty much like the Bridges and Brunson show. That's just what I see anyway.
Shout out Jason M., one of the smartest people on Twitter. Highly recommend following him. And I say that not to kiss his ass, because I actually disagree with most of what he says, but I always agree with his argument. He made strong arguments and cases for his takes, and he's really knowledgeable, way more than me on the edge to nose of basketball. And he always comes through with really solid analysis. Shout out Jason M. Appreciate the call. I wanted to respond to a few of the things he says. I definitely agree that I think if Leon Rose trades Mitch, it's going to be for his center. But I like the idea of Nick Richards for Precious, but I really don't think they're going to trade Precious. I think Tibbs really likes him. He's available. He's healthy. He does the things that Tibbs likes statistically, and I don't see him as a real trade candidate. But if they did do that, and he brought in Nick Richards, what then with Mitchell Robinson? Are you also making a trade for Mitch? Because are you really going to have Hot Porty, Sims, Mitch, Cat, and Nick Richards all on the same team? That's 5 centers. I feel like the Mitch would then be moved in a subsequent trade, but I don't see Leon making that much activity at this year's deadline. Again, we are missing a 10-point per game scorer off the bench in Decent Bride. That's a really big hole that we don't have pause for our second unit right now. He's the only guy who can really come and score in off the dribble. Campaign can't do that. Shamet has not done that yet. So I think his activity and his ability to lead an offense, whether he's running with Bridges or running with Cat, is going to be really crucial upon his return and his three-point shooting as well. Him and Shamet are both the 2 movement shooters we have off the bench, and really only relying on Shamet when his shot's been off. I mean, it's led to the lowest point production in the NBA. So we need Shamet to get more minutes. We need Payne or Kolek to get more minutes, and I think we need Precious and Sims as well. To me, it's all about volume and reps. If you're not getting the reps, I don't know how you can ever get yourself into a game shape scenario where you need to start being productive off the bench. We lead both in lowest points per game and lowest combined minutes for our bench team. And I think both that correlation is very important in understanding why we are in this three-game losing streak.
Yeah, well said. Well said. I have nothing to add to that. I also agree. Deuce McBride, man, he's an important piece for our bench. And our bench is already kind of the lowest scoring. And not only that, we lost like a top-notch point of attack defender too, who kind of pressures defense and causes steals and causes havoc. So we're missing Deuce. That's a big deal for us, especially. So we're expecting Shamet. I'm hoping Shamet gets together next game, and he uses this opportunity to kind of get into rhythm. But Deuce, man, hurry back up and be 100% healthy.
The frustrating thing for me is when Cat sits or any starter sits, Tibbs will adjust the rotation and dust someone off the bench that's been in storage and implement them into the rotation. But he doesn't do the same thing for the bench players. And with McBride out, he really just he shortened the minutes for everybody else. There hasn't been someone allowed to step into Deuce's role and get Deuce's volume of shots and attempts as well. How can you ever expect to really boost your bench when you're not granting people opportunities to do so? To me, Tyler Kolek is the person who should have been brought up into the rotation for a 2-4 game stretch. Let's see what he's got. Maybe he doesn't play in OKC, but he certainly should have played in Chicago, and he certainly should have played tonight. He's the one guy I think that should play, not because he's super clutch or he's an unbelievable offensive weapon. It's his passing. He makes the game easier for all of these other guys. He makes the game easier for OG, for Precious, for Sims, being a lob threat. That, to me, should have been the piece that moved up and given 10, 11 minutes, nothing crazy, but just spot minutes to see what he can do when Orlando goes on a run or our offense is really falling apart.
Yeah, and it's funny because I feel like Tyler Kolek got he was doing really well in the G League, and for a minute it seemed like he was losing his confidence because his minutes got cut. And then I feel like after he got his G League minutes and he came in with Precious Achiuwa, it looked like they had this energy, and he looked really good and really comfortable. It would be nice to have him kind of continue that success from the G League into the NBA while Deuce is out, to see like another look to see if he can continue it, because he looks like a natural. Like when he was out there, he just looks like, yeah, I'm here. I've been here for a while, and he's only played 10 games. So I agree with you, Lee. I definitely agree with you. Still support Tibbs as coach, but man, Tibbs be tipping.
For real. And I've said it before. I think I said this. I first said this last year. When Tibbs is in his ass bad, it's bad. Like Tibbs's flaws are really, really severe flaws. And I think at some point, until he adjusts, they hold us back from reaching our full potential. I fully agree with the chat and Twitter who are criticizing him harshly. He deserves to be criticized.
For sure. All right. We got Fritz. Fritz wants to come in and give his 2 cents.
Fritz.
Yep.
My man.
Let's go. Fritz, you are now live on the KOT show. What's going on, my guy?
Hey guys, how you doing? Hey Lee. Hey JLS.
My man.
Yeah, I'm just gonna continue the conversation. I'm gonna cape for Tyler Kolek. The thing I really see with Josh Hart in the first half, they try to use him as the kind of a facilitator, bring the ball up in the first half. And it usually works in the first half because people are cutting to the rim. They're looking to make plays. But they try that same Josh Hart in the second half, and it doesn't work because nobody's cutting and everybody's tired. And once that happens, it's pointless to do. It's pointless. He doesn't have point guard skills, but it works when everybody's cutting. So I think, just as Lee said and you said, they should use Tyler Kolek in the second half. If you're going to do that, have Kolek play along with Jalen Brunson for a few minutes, and he be the distributor for a few minutes and mix it up. Because Josh Hart in the second half, as a distributor, doesn't work when everybody has tired legs.
I think defensively the coach is saying that's not going to be the move. I think that's really what it is.
Yeah.
When it comes to pairing Tyler Kolek with Brunson, like I feel like if he's going to play Kolek, there's going to be a defender next to him, whether it be Deuce. I'm gonna put Shamet in there. Shoot, Shamet out here working. Be Deuce, Shamet, or Payne, somebody. Like I feel like somebody needs to be next to him.
I could definitely see that, but I can't see them trying Josh in the second half when it just doesn't work in the second half when nobody's active.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Good point, Fritz. All right.
Well, all right. So definitely I encourage everybody join the Discord. We have always discussions going on. Also give us a like. We need those likes and those emojis. They really help us. All right.
Talk
to y'all later.
All right, later. Appreciate it. Yo, salute to Fritz. Yeah, and for sure, join the KOT Discord if you want to chat with the KOT fam. Discussions be going on there for sure. So especially if you like don't want to be on Twitter with all the crazy toxicness. You can just talk to the KOT peoples because there's a different type of level head over there in the KOT Discord if that's where you want to go.
You know what? I want to shout out Fritz. You know how you came up with that moniker for Rookie of the Year for Ebony when it was her first season? I'm going to give Fritz Most Improved. Fritz always kind of focuses on like roster construction, trade scenarios, the cap. He's a Brock Aller of Knicks fans, in my opinion. But I like that he's been focusing a lot on like play calling and trying to learn the game the same as me. I give him props, man. That the idea of using Josh Hart as a hub, it being effective only when you have the cutters cutting, it made sense and plays into this trend that we've seen in the last 3 games where the Knicks are just tired and they stop the off-ball movement, which is how we got on that run to begin with and how we won 9 games in a row was a constant cutting. So shout out Fritz, man. I see you, bro.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Fritz, man. Jason M says, I think they would also move Sims, then move Mitchell Robinson in the offseason. Mitchell Robinson has very little trade value right now. I actually feel like they're more likely to move Sims than Mitch in the offseason because of the very little trade value.
I disagree. I disagree.
You think they're more likely to move Mitchell Robinson than Sims?
Yes. If you trade him to a team, it doesn't need him the whole season, where it's kind of like, all right, we're going to save you over here and we're going to freeze dry you into the playoffs and then thaw you out to give us 20 minutes a game. Like maybe Denver would be a team that would qualify, or Utah to back up Rudy Gobert. I think there's a possibility that he would have some trade value in that sense. And I think next year's the last year of his deal, so it becomes an expiring deal as well. So there's value. It's just minimal value. You're probably only going to get perhaps a rotational player, no additional draft capital, no multi-team or multiplayer deal. But I do think that there's value there being inspiring and him being a really elite, a 1 or 2 things that contenders could use.
But I got, you know what it is? I feel like the Knicks would be able to get more value if he actually played like the first half of the season. He looked good. You know what I'm saying? And
this
then,
year, yes.
And that's why I say I don't feel like it'll be in the off season. I feel like it'll be like next season trade deadline type of thing if it were to happen, in my opinion anyway, for Mitch.
If all reports are true and he comes back, let's say February, maybe early March, and he plays for the playoffs and doesn't get hurt, knock on wood, then he definitely has trade value in the summer for sure. Goes in the playoffs and he gets hurt in the second round again, or the first. You're right. I mean, it's like he's cooked.
Yeah.
He's cooked.
Yeah. Sims is that's right. Sims is expiring, so we couldn't even wait. When is Sims' contract is over? I always felt like Sims' contract was over this season, right?
It is, yeah. But I really think we re-signed him.
I hope we re-signed him.
Do steal. Me too. I really like Sims. I went from hating the kid and calling him a bum. I love his energy. He plays hard, man. That matters. Especially tonight.
Yeah, the only thing with Sims is, man, he has to be unafraid to shoot. Dude has been working on the turnaround jumpers all season long, all off season long. Shout out to David. David, man, call your boy up, because there was a few times where Sims had the opportunity to shoot that turnaround jumper he's been practicing all summer. Like there was a point in the game where like I felt like the shot clock was going down and he's back with the basket. I was like, this is your moment, man. You practice this. And I feel like he just passed it out or something like that. Like,
yeah, he had some mismatches too. He had De Silva on him one, Anthony on him once too. He had a mismatch and he didn't take advantage of it. And that's when the crowd was like audibly responding to him being hesitant. Again, man, Leon Rose watches that. You can't be scared on this team.
Yeah, man, for sure. All right, yo. I'll talk about everything I want to talk about. Any bruh picks?
We're the ooh pick, man. This was, again, the worst loss of the season. Truly embarrassing effort, especially defensively. Couldn't guard the paint, couldn't guard 3. Typically, when we don't guard the perimeter, we do a pretty good job of shutting down the paint. They were both open for business today, and it was really an embarrassing loss. I put this on Brunson for not being a distributor like he should have, and I put this on Tibbs for not experimenting more offensively, or at least with the rotation. Tough loss, man. I am not overreacting. I don't think we need to make a big trade. I think we will come out of this. Again, missing Deuce is so damn key. It's really important to have that 10 points per game off the bench, because no one else can give you that volume like Deuce can. Or the defense, as you pointed out too. Shout out Shamet for at least trying. I've been impressed with his team defense. Yeah, man, overall, man, Tibbs, it's time for you to adjust, bro. What do you have in the bag? I got to see you, as Ebony said, I see you freestyle a little bit more.
Hold on a second, Lee. Hold on a second. I got an important text.
Did I just conjure up Ebony by mentioning her?
I got an important. She asked if we still on.
Yo, bring her on, man. The people miss the people's champ.
See, I'm tired. I was about to wrap it up and go to sleep because I was tired, but
me too.
Wants to come on and give us 10 15.
Yeah. Bring that Deuce energy.
She wants to come in and give us some Deuce minutes, then go ahead.
For sure.
Hold on a second, man. Hold on a second. Ebony talking about.
I got an oopit while you're.
All right. Yeah. Let me see if I send her. I don't know. I feel like she's alluding to wanting to come on. Let me just send the link just in case that's what she's trying to say.
I got an oopit from my main man, Anthony Black, a kid I watched since he was a freshman in high school. He's like 15 years old. He's got it, man. He's going to be a high level role player in the league. He was the state tournament champion in UIL for Sets A when Duncanville won their 4th in a row, which I believe was his third. No, it was his 4th championship. He's an unbelievable player, great all-around game. Reminds me of a very young Sean Livingston in the way that he plays. I think he could develop a 3-point shot and become even dangerous. That I think once he does that, that's when he'll enter into his starting lineup in the backcourt. But I'm a huge fan of him. Thought he played Jalen Brunson really, really well. And I always like giving out my DFW guys, South Dallas players. A shout out Ron Holland, and Cade Cunningham, but also Anthony Black. Shout out Anthony Black, man. He played great defense today.
All right. Bruh. Oh, my bad. Sorry, Anthony. Didn't mean to do that to you.
He is the enemy, so he also gets a bruh.
Oh, yeah.
He did.
Bruh. You flopped, Anthony. I don't care. You flopped.
Oh, man. And prayers up for sure to Kyrie Irving, man. I heard he has a bulging disc in his back, which, man, when players deal with those, it's typically a 2-3 month process. So the Mavs are losing not only their first best player, but Luka out with the hamstring, but now Kyrie Irving's going to be out for an extended time. I really feel for him. Kyrie's one of my favorite guys. So I hope he heals and gets better soon.
That's just, shout out to Kyrie Irving. Hopefully you get better soon. Full show.
Oh, let me unload the clip. Hold up. I got one more. I got a bro pick to the entire FS1 sports channel. Man, it has been a hot mess with this lawsuit coming out with the hairstylist accusing Skip Bayless of offering $1.5 million to have sex with her, which he got turned down from. I mean, my God, you never have to readdress yourself when you turn down offering $2 million. Yeah. She was a hairdresser for FS1, and she accused him of that, but also accused Joy Taylor, I believe her name is, who was a co-host of telling her to basically like shut up about the accusations.
Oh, wow.
And also said that she essentially, Joy Taylor, presumably was screwing her way to the top because she was in an affair with a high-level executive over content for FS1, and also her co-host, a former NFL player I'm not familiar with because I don't watch NFL.
Damn.
Apparently, like that, she told this woman who's filing a lawsuit that she was in the relationships with them, and also if anything ever happened with her job, that she was going to accuse the executive that she had sex with of rape, and basically preemptively, which is like really, this is all accusations, but it's really nasty business, really nasty work. And it's the FS. First of all, no one's going to FS1 to watch to get their NBA or NFL analysis. Who the hell watches that channel anyways? And you know how bad it is? ESPN is one of the worst products on TV, and people still aren't watching FS1. They rather watch shows like this that have real man on the street mentality and point of view, for the fans that are giving their perspective on the game, opposed to these mid-level, old legacy media, which really is dying out. Yeah. And even though I'm a part I'm wishing for its failure, because I think these fan made channels are the best way to get your point of view out and from fan to fan, and also have a voice as the listener and the reader. So, anyways, FS1, man, the whole company, Fox Sportsnet, the whole company. It's the bra pick, Joy Taylor, Stip Bayless.
Damn.
I hope that hairdresser gets all the money. I hope she gets more than the 1.5 that Stip offered her too.
That's crazy. All right. Bruh picked to FSS1 and all the people involved in that crazy case over there. Also, bruh picked to the Miami Heat just cause.
Bruh.
I just like seeing them implode. Jimmy Butler out here with green braids asking to be out like he's the Grinch that stole Christmas. I love it. And Pat Lolly trying to maneuver like, oh, we don't plan on trading him. Da, 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 da. Jimmy Butler said, nope. That's not the way I operate. I'm going to play the same way I played when I was with the Timberwolves. I'm going to blow all this stuff up. So you got to trade me to wherever the hell I want to go. And he's like, if you don't trade me when I play, I'm going to play like absolute ass. I'm going to just shoot one-legged fadeaways all game long and until you trade me. So, yeah. Miami Heat culture is winning again. Let's get it.
Bruh.
Yeah. Heat culture officially dead. Damn it. I said one more, but I have one more after that. The Phoenix Suns organization. Holy hell. I mentioned them in my roundup of contenders that are dealing with a really tough stretch. I think they've lost now 6 of the last 8 games. And now Bradley Beal and Joseph Nurkic are being moved to the bench in favor of Mason Plumlee and Ryan Dunn. I think the benching of Beal is really to either try to light a fire under his ass for him to play better, or to say, to signal, listen, waive that no trade clause and let's send you somewhere where you can actually get some minutes. But the Suns are completely cooked. I love to see it. I'm not a big fan of that franchise. I don't like it when you try to buy a contender. Oh, yo, Ebony, let's go!
Yeah.
Let's go!
For the gentleman who asked, Ebony still on the program. Ta-da.
It's here. Let's go.
What's up? How y'all doing?
Miss you,
Y'all
sis.
doing?
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Let's
New
go.
Year. Sucky day, but you here, so you know. Bad loss, but you here, so we glad to have you back.
Glad
Sure.
to be back. Yeah, we gotta get it together.
Mm-hmm. It's getting. How you feeling, man?
I am a little disappointed in my team right now. I guess you could call me minutes police. Is that what they call it? The minutes police?
I guess so.
I guess I'm about to be captain it. I'm definitely about to be captain of the minutes police, because there has to be some type of balance. It's two extremes. This the beginning of the year. It's way too many extremes already. Like 40 points back to backs. We playing the G League team today. This is a time to let our young players maybe get some burn, get some confidence. You never know when we're going to need them. You never know when you're going to need them. I'm just tired of watching other who's that prosper and not our who's that grow. You hear what I mean? Like I'm tired of that. We're gonna have to have conversations, because if you look at the history of champions, there's rookies that up and coming that help them get there. Whether their role be small or big, but they had the confidence to contribute because of regular season. And people always say they're professionals, but they're not robots. These are people's tendons and muscles rubbing together. All minutes are not the same minutes. Some teams bang harder than others, so it's more physical. and other teams are more finesse. So all minutes are not the same minutes. So let's stop that, please, y'all. Please stop that. All minutes are not the same minutes. You got more games where it's more physical and defensive, then more. You get what I mean? So let's stop doing that. I just think we have a team. Granted, they're young. This is what seasons do. We gel. You use the game to get better for playoffs. You get what I'm saying? Like I feel like we're not developed. Like Tibbs is not. You be like, oh, he developed. Look at this person. Look at that person. But what I asked this question before many a times last season: was it Tibbs or is it the player that is getting better? Like you know how you give somebody's credit and they didn't have anything to do with it. Are we doing that? Are we giving Tibbs credit for people's player development that is the players? You get what I mean? Just in spite of Tibbs and what he may have saying. You heard Devo. I can't finish, right, Tibbs? In fact, in the favor of proving him wrong, are they getting better? You that's all I want to say. I'm gonna throw that out there because again, we have youthful players who are not polished. They're not all the way there. I keep on the defensive end, he will forever be in the G League. He has to at least make it difficult for people when he's guarding on the defensive end. You already know Tibbs. He's not going to allow you to not play defense if you're not Jalen Brunson. You understand? that's it. So he's the same thing with Hawk He's not very finished. They're good, but we're so hung up on offense that it drives me nuts. There's only one ball, y'all. We're not doing the little parts right now, and we can't hit a 3.2. But that's because we're tired. You can't guard the three. You can't hit the three. That lets me know we got no legs. We can't move. We're stuck in the mud. You can't get out to three-pointer. The extra effort is not there because you can't do it. You just can't do it. So I get people, you don't have to be so extreme. I'm not calling for Tibbs' job, but I'm not liking the Tibbs' job right now. You can do both. Two things can be true. I'm not gonna say fire him, but he has to get better in developing his team. One of the then I'll stop hogging the mic. Well, one of the good things about it used to be about Steve Kerr was he used his whole team. Like that was the good thing before. Now he may have got stuck in his ways or whatever, but he would use his whole team. So much so that you'd be like, where this person come from? Where this person come from? You'd be like, he gets the most out of the others. That's what Tibbs needs to learn how to do. Get the most out of his others. Use these games, not as every game being a playoff championship game. I get we want to win, but if OKC had thought that way, then the Wiggins, he wouldn't have been getting the ball the fourth quarter. You get what I mean? If Orlando thought this way, then they wouldn't be competing against us the way they did. We got to get back to that. And Orlando is always going to be in the games because they play defense. Once you play defense, you're always in the game. That's what we need to get back to. The little things. Doing the little things great was what we were great at. And we kind of gone away from that.
Cooked.
Yeah. I agree with 98% of everything you said.
Yeah.
Only thing I disagree with was does Tibbs develop people? I do feel like he develops players, but
Definitely.
the sentiment that he's not utilizing our other players enough and burning our players out and like developing the team this season outside of the core core 8 guys is absolutely correct to me.
Yep. Agreed.
And
Because
yeah, he's gonna let you cook because we talk all about the game for like the first 40 minutes, so we just don't let you cook.
we see our youth show some type of flash. We seen that. We understand that they're young, they're going to make mistakes. But what gives you confidence is playing, is working through those mistakes.
Right.
So if I make this mistake one time, I know the second time what to do. But if
Right.
I'm not able to use that, you don't get better. That's just like playing through your mistake. So again, a lot of times when people talk about I know people don't like Sims. I don't get it, to be honest, because he's just your prototype center. He's what we missing right now. He's our center. That is it. What people miss is that he does little stuff. They talk about the offensive things, but everybody is not in there to score. They're in there to help the people that's supposed to score, the job be easier. And I can say that Tibbs does that. Sims does that. He says great picks, he moves. And in the first half, what we went away from that we were doing in the first half was we were hitting our rollers. Precious, Sims, OG. Everybody that was cutting on that roll, on the pick and roll, they was actually finding them today. That kind of went away more so the second half than we were doing in the first half.
Yeah.
So
and Fritz kind of
he just
touched
got-
on that too. Fritz kind of felt like the legs got tired, so they wasn't cutting as much.
less movement. That might be facts too, Fritz. Shout out to Fritz. But yeah, I just I think again, OKC was a couple of games, but that game, the difference to me was one truly trusted their team and the other ones didn't. One team truly said we're a team, and the other one went to their go-to. And that scares me because is that going to be our playoffs? Because if we're a team for 4 quarters, nobody's messing with us. Nobody. There's nobody in the league that can mess with it if we play team basketball on both ends the way we did for 3 quarters against OKC.
Yeah.
But that fourth quarter, what happened? They targeted Jalen Brunson, and we went away from what hot. We went straight hero ball, straight isolation ball. The movement stopped. The posting up Mikal, OG, that all stopped too. So we just gotta believe in our team and stop going back to what in pressure situations. Jalen Brunson is there to help. I don't think he should have to do the hero ball with the team that we have this year. And if we can get confidence in the end of our bench, that will be great too. You make them confident in themselves that they can help this team, and not people talk about Jericho Sims, but he's trying to stay on the court. Mm-hmm. Why would I go out of my side of my role and do a post up and it don't go well? Now I'm on the court. Now I'm off the court. I know that I'm off the court, so I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do, which is set picks. I'm going to roll, I'm going to rebound, and I'm going to defend the paint.
I don't think that's on Tibbs though, actually, to be honest with you. I think that's on Sims because, like, to be honest with you, like, I was watching Jeff Teague's podcast.
Don't do that no more.
well, Jeff Teague, if you don't know, was a player for Tibbs. And he straight up said, Tibbs lets you do whatever you really want to do offensively. You just have to play defense. If you don't play defense, you don't play. So I think, to me, like, there was a time where, like, Tibbs posted somebody's up and he just didn't. He has these big broad shoulders, big body, and he just doesn't really know how to use it. Like, he attempted to post up a smaller player and ended up kind of just fumbling the ball around and having to pass it back out. Tibbs just doesn't look comfortable.
And that comes with lack of playing, and of course not knowing that if it does not go right, I'm on the bench. We know some people have shorter leashes than others, Jay. We know this.
No, listen, I was here for the whole Obi Toppin era, but I can't say that for Sims because I haven't even seen Sims attempt anything.
Nah, I seen him do some stuff.
When has Sims attempted anything this whole season?
It didn't happen this year, but I remember him dribbling. They said that Breen said this is the most I've seen him dribble. I've seen him go to the hoop dribble before and actually dunk.
I'm talking about
post-wise?
I'm talking about score on a 1-on-1 possession.
He tried earlier in the season. I remember him trying a couple times when he was actually getting some burn. He tried a couple times. He definitely did try offensive possession, but that comes with playing. Confidence comes with playing.
I think he's just naturally
getting touches too.
I think he's just naturally tentative, to be honest with you.
Like, he might be, but again, that all comes with playing, Jay. Confidence comes when you on the court. You get more confident.
No, I completely agree, but I have to push back because there was a time when Precious Achiuwa was gone until freaking December. So from September, October, November, December, he was playing.
He played his role.
He was playing.
That's the thing. That's the thing I didn't understand.
He played his role, but
he played his role. We're not asking Jericho Sims to be Jokic.
Sometimes it's not everything on the court. Sometimes the player has to throw some balls because Ariel Hakaporti came in here as a rookie and has been doing over the shoulder moves off the rip.
That's all he does, though. You know that Ariel Hakaporti has terrible screens because he's looking to
I'm not
score.
talking about his screens. I already know Sims has better defense than Ariel Hakaporti. I'm talking about he plays offense and Tibbs doesn't pull him. He pulls him when he doesn't play defense. He plays Ariel because he doesn't play defense. But Sims got the time.
Hawk Porty, but he pulls Sims for trying offensive moves. I've seen it in the beginning of the season. Sims was trying to assert himself. He was trying to assert himself offensively, and then y'all kept saying he was people kept saying, oh yes, because it didn't go or it didn't work, but he tried. So then he did what he's supposed to do. I'm not gonna let nobody score in this paint. The best percentage of the league, mind you, when he played.
I don't know.
The best
He had
yes,
all. I don't know about
you
that.
You can look that up.
I don't know about that. We gonna look up the 3 shot
facts.
attempts he had.
You can that is facts. You can look that up. That you can look it up. I'm dead ass because I have to. I had to hold him down because people was killing him. And I'm like, he's doing his job.
What? I was holding him down. I was on a program talking about Team Sims, like.
Because he is a prototype center.
Yeah,
he is a center. He was doing a center's job. His
job
is not going.
I've been Team Sims. I started off this season buying all of Lee's Sim stock. So this is not an anti-Sims rant.
Which I want my stock back.
Exactly, and I'm not telling back,
Sims, another thing about Sims though is he does set amazing picks. Like he does.
Yes, he does.
He does set amazing picks and things of that nature. I just think that comes with playing. Hawk Porty, he's all offensive minded. He has tunnel vision. We don't need him to score though. You get what I'm saying? We need you every once in a while, and Sims will be a threat if we did what we did all first half for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
If we hit the pick, if we hit the roller, if we lob, if we constantly make our movers a threat, we will crush teams because now they can't set themselves. And we can't say about the first half to the second half right now where we is at, because in the beginning of the season, guys, we was at the bottom of the league in assists. That is different now. If you look, we're not in the bottom of the league in assists anymore. So that's why I said let's not go down that route because we wasn't passing much in the beginning of the season.
I mean, we were still learning each other at the beginning of the season.
It was that, but that's the facts though. I was looking through the team stats. We was at the bottom of the league in assists.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying we were still learning each other in the beginning of the season.
Exactly. If we constantly move and we constantly make him a threat, we'll be okay. If I hate to say, and I don't even want to bring up this dirty lollipop, but if Jalen Brunson did what the dirty lollipop did, he would make his life a lot easier. If he set through lobs and hit his rollers the way Trae Young does, he will make his life a lot easier.
I'm just gonna use this part of the program to announce that Jalen Brunson is top 10 of assists. Just saying.
Okay. You know how I feel about that, Jay. If you have the ball in your hand, you're going to have assists. Harden was the top of the league in assists.
Then what was he top 10 in assists last year when Jalen Brunson had the ball in his hand?
It's a difference, Jay.
You said
that's
when he has the ball in his hands.
I in number is crazy because we already know that Jalen Brunson does not throw lobs. We know
the
that.
answer is no. He was not top 10 assists last season. That's the answer. And he had the ball in his hands more last season.
But he has to get better passing. It's okay. Yeah. I've been said that. He's young. He has to get a better balance of when it's his shot and others. And sometimes the ball is in his hand longer than it should be. In that OKC game when he was having a terrible offensive game shooting wise, I was giving him hella props because the ball was not sticking in his hand. It was decisive. You know what changed in that fourth quarter? That ball did not move.
I feel you, but Ebony, if we take the whole season, right? If we take the whole season, I would say 85% of the time, Jalen Brunson has been moving the ball.
Well, you said Jalen Brunson has the ball. Yeah, he can have the ball.
Yeah, he's been moving the ball 85% of the time this season.
Well,
otherwise, you don't get to be top 10 in assists.
Because a lot of 2 months out of this season, we was at the bottom of the league in assists.
I mean, he's top 10 in the league in assists.
Now he's getting better, but it's still not better. It's still not.
How
there.
are you top 10 in the league in assists?
Okay,
you still getting
killed.
Ask
James Harden.
Oh
this is what I'm saying. It's called an accident to assist. Come on, it's the accident. When I trap you. When I trap you and I got to get rid of the ball and somebody's open, that's an assist for me.
All right. So Jalen Brunson gets no credit for all of his assists, even though this is his highest assist total this year. And then Sims gets all the blame for not being able to shoot turn around hook shots for 4 years.
I don't know what Sims can do because we don't do it consistently. You get what I mean? I can't tell you what he can do on that end because we don't see it. We can't see it. But I know if I have a high flyer on my team as a point guard, my job is to get the best out of him, right? That's my job.
The best out of the team. Best out.
Okay, that's him. That's him. He's on my team.
Yeah, right.
So
and
I got
so is Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby.
Okay, the same thing with them though.
Top
A
10
lot of
assists in
times
the
he
league.
goes away from. We go away from what works too much. We're never gonna have an arm on Wiggins because we go away from stuff like that.
Okay. Top 10 assists in the league. I'm just telling you.
Okay, don't make me go clip stuff up. I will clip it up.
What number of assists are the Knicks in the league? Aren't we top 10? Like we're fine, guys. We're finding assists. We got to play defense. That's the problem.
Better.
We need to play defense.
We got to play defense and we got to play team ball. We have to play team ball 24/7. If you trust your team, trust your team. That's it.
Yeah. All right. Salute to the chat.
Sometimes you gotta know when it just a STFU. Y'all were cooking. Y'all were cooking. I was enjoying it. I was like, hell, y'all missed this. I wish made me want to start a debate.
Last time it was Elite and Phil. They was going back and forth about threes versus not threes. I just sat back and shut up.
I'm not gonna say. I've been said that Jalen Brunson is a good player, but he has to learn his biggest floor. Well, I guess growth. He has to still grow. First, he's young. He's recently just shot into superstardom, if you want to call it. So now you're playing with other people that you don't really have to do the hero ball anymore.
Right.
He still has to learn how to the balance between his own shot and getting his team involved. If not, he's a shooting guard.
I get that. I'm just saying. I think Jalen Brunson is never going to be Trae Young, ever. That's not who he is. Jalen Brunson is Jalen Brunson.
And I get that.
For this season, if you've been watching, I feel like he's taking a massive leap when it comes to his passing, like a massive leap. And
I give you credit for it. I do too.
That's all I'm saying. He's taking a big leap. So like I'm giving credit where his credit due. Does he have tendencies where he gets a little shot happy? Yes, but I have not seen that since September.
OKC.
Outside of like OKC. Outside of like OKC and maybe today, like there's been like sporadic games where I've seen that, but it's like more often than not, he's just passing. He's playing perfect to me. He's been balancing being a floor general and scoring pretty well.
All right, so if I could put it like this, Jay, he goes back to what he knows in pressure situations, and to me that scares me.
But we're
gonna put it like that.
Here's the other thing about that too, and I'm always gonna have this debate. OG Anunoby has been cheeks since the 40-point game. He's posting people and falling. Josh Hart, his shot has been falling off. The last two games, Josh Hart's shot has not hit. So the times where your two guys who are usually supposed to be relied on for offense aren't clicking, where do you go? Sims today, every time he got the ball down low, he was scared to shoot. So it's like today, when you're going back and forth between Mikal Bridges and Jalen Brunson, I can understand today why you would do that because everybody else is off. You're Jalen Brunson. If you lose the game, everybody's pointing to you. So I understand like why a game like today, why you would do that. The game versus OKC though, I still feel like there was opportunity to move the ball around. Like I still feel like Cat could have touched the ball. I still feel like Bridges could have touched the ball. That to me was a completely different situation where I felt like there was other people who had it going. He could have went to. Today, I felt like you live and die by decision by missing those shots because nobody else had it going.
I think when sorry, go Lee. I see you want to say
Yeah, I
something.
just wanted to add one thing to this discussion because both of y'all are making some really good points. I tend to agree more with Jay, but tonight specifically, I agree with Ebony. And I think what Jalen Brunson has to do that would separate him from having nights where he looks like Dennis Schroeder or Spencer Dinwiddie and always look like Jalen Brunson is when you have a really large defender. And we've seen Brunson be troubled by those type of guys before. Almost all of them are on Orlando. Anthony Black, I thought, was really he's making Brunson work on pick and roll as a primary ball handler, and Brunson couldn't cover him. He was finding Brunson on switches and also locking Brunson up. And I think that those situations, especially in the fourth, where we still had a chance with like 7 or 8 minutes left in the game, I think when Brunson was getting guarded really close, those are the moments he should have looked for teammates. And then when you look for teammates, your opposing defender can't guard you as close because now he has to guard the passing lanes as well, opposed to trying to just lock down you as an ISO opportunity. And not doing that, it made the job pretty easy on Anthony Black. He was basically just have to stay in front of him because he knows that when Brunson had the ball in his hands, it wasn't leaving. He was going to try to shoot his way out of that coverage. And then when he realizes that he needs the other guys involved, you have tonight, 3 other all-star level players on your team. Get him the rock. But that's on them to move. The motion has to be there. The off-ball cutting has to be there. They work in conjunction with one another. Now, that wasn't happening in the second half either, but that's a team conversation that Brunson has to do as the leader or Tibbs as a coach. Those guys moving, and then Brunson has to make the decision to make those passes. Then you create more space for yourself in defender, and then you have easier shot opportunities.
That's it. We make stuff harder. Facts, Lee. We make stuff harder for ourselves. This is what I'm saying about a team passing wise. Because if I move the ball, you can't decipher if I'm Jericho Sims or Mikal Bridges because you're moving. You get what I'm saying? You can't say, oh, I'm not gonna go to the corner over there because he's not shooting that. I want him to shoot that because you're moving. That's what one of the things OKC when we was playing that second quarter was some of the best basketball I've seen us play ever against that second quarter of OKC, and I'm talking about on both ends of the court. Defensively and offensively, we were moving. We were one. It was one play in a fast break where the whole team touched the ball, and I think Mikal got an open layup. They had OKC like this because that's what happens when you constantly move the ball. This is a team of movement. That's why Mikal is actually playing better. I've said that before. You need to move him. He's a player that doesn't need to have the ball and shot create for himself. He likes to move. He likes to move on the go, and that's when he's in his best role. Was it when he had that huge game in Phoenix? Didn't he take like 3 dribbles total? Like that's what he does. He's a player on the move. And OG might be, but he's been playing like maybe his legs are a little tired too. Because I've noticed OG has been rebounding. He's been crashing those boards. He wasn't doing that before either. He's helping more with the boards himself. And then when you top on the fact that he's guarding the best players of the league and you want him to do the offensive thing, that's the highs and lows of a season. I get it. I like that he is trying to post up though. I thought we went away a couple of games ago away from that of him and Mikal posting up and abusing in the mid range. It was either all or nothing, a layup or 3. Like we use was what was working for me. That's what I say. We go away entirely too much from what's working to go defer to Jalen Brunson sometimes. That's it. So we're never going to get a Aaron Wiggins type of game like that. And one more question, y'all. Does Campaign need Deuce McBride? Does Campaign need Deuce McBride? Because ever since Deuce has went out, he's looked like cheeks too.
I agree.
Timmy, what's your response to me? Timmy's not in the chat. I'm just when he watches it later, he's gonna watch it. That's the Campaign.
Yeah, he looks a little lost without Deuce.
Yeah, Cam's been struggling. I'm gonna hold you.
Which is why I advocated earlier in the show before you came on, Ebony. I think tonight was a game Tyler Kolek should have played 10 or 12 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Orlando is not a team of guys that puts the ball on the floor. So the defensive worries that you have of him getting beat off a dribble, you don't really have to worry about this game because the offense has really ran through their bigs. Their guards aren't doing a whole lot of playmaking. I think that Tyler Kolek could at least put a body on KCP, especially in the first 3 quarters when KCP was throwing out some nasty Brits from the corner. Really, you just have to close out as a defender. I think Tyler Cole could have done that and could have done it effectively in spot minutes. So this was a game Tibbs really should have freestyled, as you said. And I also mentioned before you came on, I think Cole should have came in that third quarter and provide some relief. And he's a playmaker.
Dadier too.
I agree.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but I mean, Mikal Bridges playing 42 minutes, man. I don't know where the man's going to come from, Dadier. Poet, though, because Campaign was playing so cheats and Brunson was struggling, why not put him in some minutes at the one?
I say Dadier only because I agree. I say Dadier too only because of who we playing and the length that they have. And Dadier has shown spurts of defense himself.
Fair.
So this is a game where you allow him to try to get some confidence in himself, and maybe hopefully he can help you to what was the end to help you alleviate some of these minutes here and there. And then when I say Dadier and Tyler Cole, they ain't got to be in there for 10 minutes straight. You could break it up. Just get these guys some type of rest, You could play Tyler Kolek with a defensive type of lineup if that's what you want to do to hide him. Don't put him next to Brunson where you got to hide the both of them type of vibes. Yeah. The same thing with Dadier. Maybe put him in there with OG for a little bit and get Mikal a rest. Or the same thing, either or with Mikal and let OG rest. Or Josh Hart rest. You get what I'm saying? Put them so that then that way you don't have to hide too many people. And again, you get them confident in themselves and you raise their value. So one time they may be able to help you get what you need to ensure the end of that bench. But just letting them ride away and not increasing their value, that's not helping us at all.
Yeah. Agree.
There's a question for you in the chat from Gamers Channel, Ebony.
What's that?
Isaiah Ramos wanted to know, what do you think of Cat through 37 games? What's been your impression so far?
Well, I've been impressed. I haven't been impressed. That spin around dunk he did on OKC is one of the loudest screams I had this season. I'm not really a person that reacts crazy when you're watching the game. I'm locked in, but I screamed on that one. It surprised me. It did. I do notice some tendencies. He's a good one-on-one. He does a good job one-on-one defensively. When it comes to help defense, that's where it go bloop bloop.
Yep.
That's
the same thing.
Yeah.
That's where it goes. Yeah, the pick and roll defense is terrible. Terrible.
He'll get some good help defense every now and again. Like he'll get
and if he think he about to get dunked on, he's making the business decision. He's not attempting.
With those knees, I'm okay with that.
He was like, I'm good. I want no parts. But other than that, yeah, I like what he's done. He needs to definitely work on the help defense, and he's another watcher, so stop watching on that end, and he'll be okay. Other than that, I like the defensive rebounding. I would love to see a little bit more off, but we know beggars can't be choosers. I'm cool with the defensive rebounding. Yeah, I like what he's doing. I would like him to be a little bit more assertive when he has small people on him and act like he is an MVP candidate. I thought he was going to have 90 against OKC. I'm not going to hold y'all. I thought he was going to have 90 at the end of the game. I'm like, this how they going to guard him? Or he about to have 90, and then we just didn't go to him. We just don't go to our mismatches. We refuse to take advantage of mismatches. I don't know why. But I'm loving what I'm seeing from Cat.
All right. I think it's a good time to end it. Thanks for joining, Ebony. Yeah, Ebony, let me know where they can find you, Ebony.
Find me here. I'm back. I'll be back as much as possible. But after every post game, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. Me and the kid might do some TikToks. Me and the little man might see us. But
what's on the
and I think that's it. That's all. Instagram. Oh yeah, Instagram too.
Right. Lee, wait, you have any book club stuff? I forgot to ask you that.
Today, I am my own book club. Of all the recognition and accolades I'm able to accomplish, anything regarding my personal writing is definitely number one. This is the first time I've had a poem published in any type of periodical, and I consider myself a poet even before I consider myself a journalist, because I read the most and I write the most. I really love poetry. So I was going to share a very quick one of the 3 poems. I had 3 published. for the AZE publication and their next issue. And this one is about my mom, who has been sick very recently. So I wrote one about her. It's very short. I won't waste too much of your time. The title is Mental Gymnastics. I held my breath again today for the call. My mom had died during surgery. So to pass the time, I painted a portrait of her twisted body in my head. I used earth and oil to create the purple and pink needed to capture the bouquet of wilting flowers I placed on the windowsill in her room. When they wheeled her back in, she asked hoarsely if anyone had changed the water. That's that.
Yo, Lee having a good 2 months in the writing space, man.
Let's get it. Well, you deserve it all. You deserve it all.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Find me on Twitter at @Leescobedo, LEESCOBEDO.
Oh, I see somebody asking for a bruh pick. I got some.
Unload the clip.
Oh, what's the bruh pick?
I got some. Jeff Teague won for having Nick from Big Mouth. Yeah, I don't know if you ever see the cartoon Big Mouth. I don't know if you can see this. Where is it? You can't see it. Nick Big Mouth, a cartoon, adult cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
That's across. He had the black version on the show, the cross-eyed one, for saying that about the comments about Angel Reese. Like, first of all, why would you need?
What did he say about Angel Reese?
That she wanted to sell pee instead of play basketball. Literally, yes. That's why I said don't even give Jeff Teague no type of time, because then he talking about he said. Oh, I didn't say anything, but this guy doesn't have any respect for anybody. Any women specifically. Why would you have him on why would you give him your platform? And you trying to get invited to the W. The W was a very loyal, morally and integrity, like that. They're big on that. Like the fans are big on that. So once we feel like you're not coming nowhere near the product. No, I wish I really could see Nick from Big Mouth, because that's what Charleston White looked like, but just cockeyed.
Charleston White, yeah, that's his name. Yeah.
Gamer Channel, Jeff Teague, and she didn't say Jeff Teague said it. She said a guest on his show said it, and he didn't say.
He
anything.
gave him the platform. Yeah. He just is guilty. We're not gonna let him slither his way out of this.
I'm explaining to Gamer Channel what was happening.
So he get the bruh pick, and I refuse to watch any Jeff Teague related anything. He's a clown,
crazy.
Bruh.
That's a clown, bruh.
And what else? Oh yeah, shout out to California for booing Hulk Hogan today. Y'all did the world's work. Yeah, I did the world's work.
I pity the
man. The bum.
Who else? I had somebody else, but my memory shot. Y'all know my memory shot. But yeah, that's definitely, I had to get those two. Oh yeah, shout out always Gilbert Arenas and Paul Pierce.
Oh, just because.
Just because I actually did agree with something Paul Pierce said recently about the Pat Riley joint, but he still forever will be forever a bruh pick.
Got you.
Yeah, that's it though. Yeah, they wilded for that one.
All right. Well, that's our show. Emily came in the last minute, said, "Hold my beer. I got some words to say." We had a debate afterwards. Then she crapped on Paul Pierce and Jeff Teague. What more do you want? All right. Are you not entertained?
I need Sniper Gang back, and not Ambulance Gang. We Ambulance Gang. They look like they need physical therapy. Right?
Oh man! Now we just need Ryan back, and then we really could. Right?
Shout out to Ryan.
Yeah, shout out to Ryan. All right, yo, but that's the show. Thank you guys for watching. You can follow us at the KOT Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Instagram, and the Knick of Time Show on Facebook as well. I feel like something's coming on. I need to take something. All right. And we'll be back. We'll be back for the next game versus the Raptors on Wednesday.
Yep.
Raptors on Wednesday game against the Raptors.
Yeah, and we better beat the damn Raptors.
They got Quick back.
Oh, they got Quick back. Oh, here we go.
They got Quickly back.
They got Quickly back. So we still better beat the Raptors. Damn it, we can't. The Knicks haven't lost 3 in a row since we've been like we haven't won. We've been in like a couple of 3-game losing streaks last year, and I think the year before. So we haven't won. we haven't lost 4 in a row, so I don't want to start this season. All right. Yeah, well, we haven't lost 4 in a row in like years. So hopefully we get this win tomorrow. All right. Cool. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. And as always,
Shout out the worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
it's a mess out here in these Knicks YouTube streets and Twitter and Instagram and all those places. TikTok too. That's the show. We are out of here. Peace.
Dreams. New York, big city of dreams.